And we're live. Welcome to the video episode of the Star Wars Reporter podcast, episode 34. I am Wookie Steve, and I'm here with my good buddy, Lumrunner, Wayne.
Hey guys, how you doing?
We're going to be talking about all things Star Wars, Disney, and fandom. And be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Unfortunately, there's no booty pictures of us on Instagram, but we're trying to talk Eric or Wayne into it, so
not gonna be me.
We'll. So this is kind of a new thing. We were kind of discussing if anyone out there is ready to see our faces. So I kind of combed out the beard and got rid of all the bugs, and I think we're all ready.
And you're living up to your name too.
I'm not even going to attempt the Wookiee roar. I'm way too tired. I've got my quarantine face going. So it's been a while. It's been, I think it's been over a month since we've even done one of these. So how's it been going, Wayne?
Yeah, it's been going good. You know, we've seen a lot of new Star Wars news come out, and I've actually kind of started picking some toys up here and there for my collection, which is now consists of bobbleheads and Baby Yoda statues.
It's like Baby Yoda, everyone, right? I got one over my shoulder here. I meant to bring the pre-order one downstairs, the one that everyone has.
I don't got that one. No,
that's good. I have on pre-order the animatronic one. I think it comes out in November, and so we'll see what that looks like.
That should be fun. As you can see behind me, I just got a portion of my collection showing as you do. Just
well, the reason why there's so much here is this is the only room my wife lets me keep anything in.
Yeah, that's about the same. This is the the man cave of.
It's not like a man cave. It's more like a man stuff refugee camp.
Yeah.
So it's all kind of crammed as much. So it actually looks like I made this display, but basically everything was just dumped here against the wall. And then we talked about this sword here is out of place.
That lightsaber right there?
It's a short one. The lightsaber named Sting. So I don't know if the hatred between the Lord of the Rings and the Star Wars people is as true as what Kevin Smith did in one of his movies, but I just couldn't take it down. I like it too much. So, but I guess the recent thing, everyone's been kind of waiting for this moment, and the Mandalorian season 2 trailer has come out.
Finally,
we're here to talk about it. How many times was I sending you and James messages saying the trailer's come tonight? The rumor is it's going to be during halftime at some football game.
I think it's been like daily for the last 2 weeks.
I know. And it was like I stay up. And the thing is we kind of got rid of cable because no one was really watching it. Everyone, like my kids, are just watching YouTube or not at all. So we're kind of wasting money. So I haven't watched sports in like 2 years. And so I've been kind of looking through other YouTubers who were kind of streaming live, because that's where I heard the rumor, right? They're like, oh, watch it with us and we'll watch this trailer together. And so I think it was the Monday before it released, Monday night, stayed up till 11:30, no trailer. Next morning, 10 o'clock, I think it was, it dropped finally. So now Star Wars people have something to talk about that isn't rumor or which trilogy sucks the most.
Well, I have my opinions on that, but I'm going to keep them to myself.
We'll do like a 3-part series, go through all the good and the bad. So,
Right.
but yeah, so why don't we just play the trailer and we'll discuss it. I've taken more notes than I take at work, so I think I'll have a lot to talk about.
All right. Sounds good.
So let me just get the trailer up here. Looking in good shape.
Man, that thing is pretty rough.
I like the Viking throat music.
Show me the one whose safety deemed such destruction. You must reunite it with its own kind.
Different theme music this year.
This you
I'm
must
so happy
determine.
about this tattooing.
The songs of eons past tell of battles
See, this
between
is supposed to be
Mandalore the
Ilum,
Great
right? Not
and an order of
Hoth.
sorcerers
That's
called
what I'm
Jedi.
thinking. I don't think they would go. There's Sasha Banks.
You expect me to search the galaxy and deliver this creature to a race of enemy sorcerers?
This is the way.
I love that they're keeping their the kind of dark feel to it. Oh, the X-wing.
You know this is no place for a
That's
child. Wherever I go, he goes.
This is
So
like
I've heard.
my favorite part of the trailer. Nope.
Gamorrean Fight Club.
This is the way.
We don't talk about Gamorrean Fight Club.
What was it? I think I posted. It was like first rule of Gamorrean Fight Club: short shorts.
Those guys look pretty scrawny for some Gamorreans.
I know. Maybe the Gamorreans that we saw in Jabba's palace were just kind of, let it go a little bit because they were nice and comfy inside the palace, just watching, dancers and people thrown into the Rancor.
Right.
It's the Fight Club circuit or the Gamorreans with the most.
That looks pretty cool. I know there's been a lot of rumors as to like who Sasha Banks is playing there. It's definitely not Ahsoka in that trailer.
I've seen actually mainstream media articles where they were like referring to her as Ahsoka. It's like, no one was paying attention apparently.
Right. Yeah, it could be anything. What was I saying? The rumor that I heard was from Star Wars Rebels.
Oh, Sabine.
Yeah, Sabine. I don't know if it's Sabine or not. I mean, that's who I heard rumors she was playing, but
right.
The way the trailer went, they mentioned racist sorcerers and they kind of focused on her.
Mm-hmm.
She could just be a new character, a new Jedi or something.
Right.
So I'm kind of looking forward to finding out, though. It's going to be kind of cool seeing who survived the purge. If any, we know Ahsoka did for a little while at least.
Right. Well, I mean, this is supposed to be 5 years after Return of the Jedi. This is when this is all taking place, right? So,
right.
I know I did hear a rumor, and I should have wrote the name down, that Sasha Banks could be playing a character who was kind of like a bounty hunter who hunted down Jedi younglings, which would kind of make sense if they're looking for Baby Yoda. I refuse to call him the child.
I get corrected by my 14-year-old all the time. She's
Oh,
like, it's not Baby Yoda, Dad. It's the child.
what do kids know?
Yeah, whatever. You know. I'm calling him Baby Yoda until they tell us something different besides the child.
Exactly. So yeah, I'm so happy that they're keeping that whole dark, the scoundrel. I'm so excited by the almost non-good guy aspect of it, just kind of the raw scoundrel of the galaxy.
Yeah, this is definitely that Star Wars Shades of Grey period, like
Right.
if you were just going to have a show about bounty hunters and stuff, which that was always the rumor that there was going to be a Boba Fett show or whatever. But I guess we get the Mandalorian, which is cooler because I think he's cooler than Boba Fett. But it sounds like we'll be seeing Boba Fett, maybe. I don't know. Hopefully.
Well, the one part where you see the back of a jetpack, there's some people saying that that's Boba Fett because of the shape and that the little rocket thing at the top. It's
Right.
not like Mando's, but I mean, I've watched it so many times, and I mean, who knows?
I can't tell. I mean, they hinted at him last year or last season, with the boots and the Ming Na Wen episode.
Yeah,
I was really disappointed that Ming Na Wen didn't last more than that one episode, but I think she could have been a really cool character to get to know throughout the series.
Yeah, I thought for sure she wasn't dead until the spurs, the boots came up, and I thought, oh, okay, I guess she is.
Yeah, that kind of. I think that kind of said it there.
Well, it's hard and fast in the Star Wars scoundrel galaxy.
Don't get attached to anybody. That's my new motto now.
I know. So what was one of your favorite parts?
That scene with the where they're in the fight club and they're threatening the Mando, and the Baby Yoda just looks over at him and then closes the door on his little hatch.
That was funny.
Thump 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 thump. It's like he's already seen what happens when Mando gets mad, so he's not going to take any chances.
I know, exactly. When I first saw the Gamorrean Fight Club, as I like to call it, it kind of reminded me of when you, me, and James were and Phil were playing that Star Wars role-playing game from Fantasy Flight Games. And the last game that we played, we were supposed to be going to some kind of underground, was a shock boxing club to meet some kind of a contact.
Yeah.
This kind of reminded me we missed out on that kind of a scene. So
I know, we were so close.
Yeah.
That was good times. Good times.
I know. But you know what? I'm really looking forward to, as weird as it is, of the Fight Club, kind of like, because I'm looking forward to the kind of the underside aspects of this series, right? Like, I know some people are excited about Ahsoka and, possibly Sabine or Boba Fett and stuff, but I'm kind of, when I'm watching the episodes, I'm kind of looking around. It's really weird. I'm paying attention to so much of the scenery. My wife and kids think I'm weird. I'm like, oh, did you notice that guy way over in the corner, what he was doing? And they're like, no, I was watching the character.
That part where the scout troopers jump over that cliff, and down the hill with the bikes. And like, man, watching the original Return of the Jedi, you're like, they couldn't be doing anything fancy besides going in a straight line. Yeah.
Just moving around trees.
Yeah, moving around trees. Then they go, woo!
I'm almost thinking that they're not really stormtroopers. It almost seems like, because if you look at when they're about to hit over the edge, there's a bunch of dead stormtroopers. And I'm wondering if they're stormtroopers or if it's like our heroes in disguise escaping something. Maybe.
But that would mean he would have had to have taken his helmet off, which we know that's one of the rules.
Yeah, so far. I mean, maybe if he runs in, because Bo-Katan's going to be there, right, in the season. So, I mean,
hope so.
Is that rule going to change? You know what I mean?
Well, that's the one. I think that's where we're all kind of looking as to what they're going to be doing, because we already seen Mando's taking their helmets off in the Clone Wars, Star Wars Rebels. But we also know that the Mando himself is not really a Mandalorian. He's part of a group that has taken up their creed, and
like a foundling,
like a family, that he was adopted into. They're not all Mandalorians, but they are now, because they have accepted, this way of life. This may be like an ancient way of the Mandalorians that we're seeing here, that the other Mandalorians don't do, because they're, more modern, and not really modern, but you know what I mean? It's they're not as entrenched in that way of life as these guys have taken up. These guys have definitely taken up the old ways.
Right. It'll be interesting, right? Because, I was surprised in the first season that the helmet only came off the one time. And, because it's kind of that Hollywood thing, right? Even if the character has a helmet on the whole time or a mask, the actors always need to have it taken off, right? So, like, Judge Dredd, or it was actually Dredd. I forget the actor's name. He had no problem not taking off, not Sylvester Stallone's, but the newest one. The actor had no problem leaving the helmet on the entire time, and he was awesome.
Right.
Or I always get a kick out of in the superhero movies, like especially Spider-Man, in the middle of a fight, he'll land and then have to take the mask off to think about what he's going to do, or say something to the villain or someone beside him. You know what I mean? And that always bugs me. I can understand if Tony is in his Iron Man suit and meets up with another character, and instead of just having them talk to a metal plate mask, he opens it up a little bit to say, "Oh, I'm going to be doing this," So,
yeah, well, and now we know what it's like talking through a mask. So we could see why he would want to take that mask off to talk every now and then.
Right.
But yeah, I know what you mean. And but to go back to the Dredd, that was one of the core concept of Dredd, is he never takes his helmet off. Could probably be taking a shower and he still has his helmet on. In the Mandalorian, they even mention it right at the beginning of the series. Have you ever taken off your helmet to anybody?
Right. So no living person, right? So I guess you could take the helmet off and get naked in front of droids, but you can't do it, to a living person. Speaking
of which, I'm going to miss that droid.
IG 11.
Yeah, IG. He was one of my favorite characters of the last season.
He was awesome, right? Because he was like a murder droid. He was like the kind of droid that you would play in the role-playing game.
I have never played a murder droid. Maybe
it was only not murder droid because you didn't murder us, the characters that we played. You tried. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. So they have to get more other droid in. So like it'd be cool to have a cameo, even like I think I said this before, have R2D2 or C3PO together walking by just in the background, right? Where people go, "Hey, wait a minute." Like not make a big deal where they're like asking them questions, because then it's too gratuitous. But if they're just in the background as our heroes are talking and they're just walking by, like in Tatooine or something,
right?
That'd be really cool.
That'd be a good little cameo. And I
Right.
noticed that they also released the directors of all the episodes too. You don't have that you can share with us, do you?
Yeah, where did I got that? Who do they have here? Um, Now I do like some of the cameos too. In the one part where they're in the Fight Club, Mando's talking to the one-eyed guy.
Yep. The one who
It's
said looks
rumored
like
that
James.
Yeah, it's rumored that Mark Hamill is voicing that person. So he's still in there. He said goodbye to Star Wars fans, but he's still in there. Goodbye as Luke, but he's still in there. Although some people, and I think it's just wishful fan thinking that's never going to happen, are thinking, could Luke Skywalker show up in season 2 of The Mandalorian?
Right. I doubt it.
I don't think so. Here are some of the directors. So for that's confirmed. So John Favreau, Dave Filoni, Bryce
Yep.
Dallas Howard, Rick Famuyiwa. I killed that. Carl Weathers, which is cool. Peyton Reed and Robert Rodriguez.
Oh, Robert Rodriguez, Desperado.
I'm
That's going to
really
be
hoping.
action-packed episode, I bet.
I'm so hoping, dude. And it makes sense because it is a space cowboy series.
Yeah. Robert Rodriguez is one of my favorite directors at one point when he was doing those. He's great. I'm going to really miss seeing Taika Waititi, though. I love Taika Waititi.
I know. I think he's a little busy.
He's what is he doing? He's doing Thor, Love and Thunder, and something else, wasn't he? I'm thinking. But he's busy doing stuff right now. Too bad for us, but we have Favreau and Filoni and Bryce, and she did a really bang up episode, last season too. So I think that we're gonna see a pretty cool season. My wife keeps threatening that she's gonna cancel Disney Plus before that, but you got the controls of that one. So,
a funny story about Desperado, and I'm not sure if I said this before. My now wife, our first date, I took her to see that movie, Desperado. I don't know what I was thinking. And, she said a while later, like years later, she didn't mind the movie, but she thought, what the hell is this? Why is he taking me to see this movie?
You're such a geek, man.
A first date. I don't know what I was thinking. So, anyways, it must have worked. Maybe I have him to thank for it because, she fell for it and we got married. So, just kind of funny, right? It always makes me laugh when I tell people that story. There's usually laughter from the dudes, and women are like, "What?
What was he thinking?
I'm a monster. But anyways, so I can only imagine what that episode's going to be like. Just shooting, everyone dies.
I mean, I think he kind of took up the mantle like Tarantino, but even more violent in some ways.
I just want the Mando to come out and play a guitar then.
Oh yeah. He calls his Mando buddies, bring your guitars.
Oh yeah, that's right. This is the way. Bing, bing, bing.
Yeah. Did you notice that I think I heard somewhere that the music was scored by a different guy this time too. Like, rather than the guy did the nice westerny style music.
I have it down.
And I'm wondering if they're doing that just kind of keep up the, I've heard Favreau say this is his Empire Strikes Back arc, So, if this is his Empire Strikes Back arc, I can see it ending on a real downer where we're all going to be worried about what happened to Baby Yoda at the end of the season.
This is the second act. And that's the thing. I hear people saying, there's people out there complaining like, okay, enough with the Baby Yoda, right? Give him to his people. Let's move on to other stories. It's like, what are you talking about? Maybe it'll happen. I mean, who knows?
It shows, the Mando is cool the way he is, but this shows him, that he's got to change his ways and
Mhm.
It's kind of like that old. You ever remember that comic Lone Wolf and Cub?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what this kind of reminds me of. Where he's the samurai going around with the baby, and he's got to protect him.
Right.
So
Well, I mean, they're kind of on that quest, right? Like that the the snow planet that we saw. It's not Hoth, it's Ilum, right? It's where the kyber crystals come from, and we've
oh,
seen it in Clone Wars, right? They go
we're
get their
hoping
kyber,
it's Ilum, but
right? But it would make sense, right? If they're looking for his people, the Jedi,
right.
that's a place they would be. And then later on, like the First Order took that planet over and turned it into Death Star #3, right? Use the kyber for the energy,
Right.
before it was destroyed. So, but so it's like kind of the quest you meet, and like they're kind of following that same line, right? Like they're on their quests, they get close, they meet someone. So, and it's interesting. Everyone's been waiting for this trailer. They finally dropped the trailer, and there was no one really in it. No Ahsoka, no Rex, no Bo-Katan, no Boba Fett, maybe.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of, and I know it's only the first trailer, but not even a little taste of someone.
Got to keep you waiting.
I
They don't
yeah,
want to give away all the apples
I
before they.
know.
So
Yeah. If it was me, I would not show Ahsoka until the end, or not at all. So it's more of a surprise, right? Because she's gonna, maybe look different, or it's just that anticipation that people are gonna have, and I would just milk that, I'd torture them with it.
I mean, we'll be seeing characters that have only been animated in in a real life situation. This is going to be like the official version of it for the live
Yeah,
series. So it's going to be, they don't want to give it away. They want people to keep coming back every episode, like they're going to not come
right,
back to watch what
right,
happens. I was
right.
happy to see Cara Dune come back, and Grief,
Mm-hmm.
Carl Weathers' character.
Grief, yeah,
I started listening to watching the show on Disney Plus, where they talk about the behind the scenes stuff,
right.
and they were talking about Carl Weathers, and they're like, we were going to have him play an alien, and we put him in makeup and all that stuff, and then we're like, why would we do that? It's this Carl Weathers,
Yeah,
So
that makes sense. I'm sure he's really happy about that.
Yeah, and he's always been a cool guy,
Yeah,
So
his character looks different now. His clothes are more regal, from what people are saying. Like I saw one person say that he might be kind of the mayor of that town, or kind of more of a politician, but maybe he's not. Maybe he's just richer now, right? He's getting a lot more business, dressing differently.
didn't the Imperial at the end of last season, did he mention when he was reading off their stuff, mentioned that he was like a failed administrator, and now he's in charge of the Bounty Hunters Guild? So he could have taken over the town. Plus, he's got Cara Dune as his right hand muscle.
Yeah.
So nobody wants to mess with her.
Did they change her costume slightly, or her outfit slightly?
Yeah, probably.
It
they got to sell new toys.
It seems like lowered her shirt here in the front a little bit. To me, I thought, wait a minute, what's going on here?
Yeah, it could have. It's like superhero movies. They got to change their costume every episode or every show just so they can sell more product.
Season 2, Cara Dune, yeah.
Although I gotta say, I went into Target the other day to look at Star Wars toys, like you do.
Right.
And I was a little disappointed at what was out there. Target has started getting in a lot of the new Galaxy's Edge stuff, which I'm sure it's just because Disney hasn't had a chance to sell it at the theme park this year.
Yeah.
But they had some cool new black figures, which I haven't collected those. I haven't actually collected a figure in a while.
Yeah.
But those ones have started making me think that I want to. There's going to be apparently there's a Hondo Anaka one that I really wouldn't mind having. And
that looks so good.
And he's like, but he was always like one of my favorite characters too, out of between Rebels and the Clone Wars. I mean, he's like that guy that you can't trust, the grifter of the
I know.
Faithways.
He's such a scoundrel.
Yeah. So really looking forward to that. So yeah, I was a little disappointed at the toys, but they started getting some stuff in. And James was nice enough to send me. I showed you earlier my Jawa Tiki mug.
Oh yeah. I love those Tiki mugs. Are so awesome.
So he got that. This is one of the Target exclusives now. So that was pretty nifty, and thank you, James. I really like that. I haven't filled it up with beer yet, but I'm sure it'll come.
It's a matter of time.
Right, just a matter of time. I did go and get a couple of Funko Pops the other day.
Right.
My desk at work, my boss actually built a shelf over my desk because I had so many bobbleheads sitting on it.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, I the news came out where they were going to start kind of pushing the Galaxy's Edge only stuff, merchandise into the stores, right? And there's actually a few things that I was really interested in. So I'm kind of putting it on Christmas lists and stuff.
Yeah.
But, my wife never buys that stuff for me. She thinks it's all dumb and never buys it.
I was looking at it, and some of it looks like the stuff you get from Disney World. Not quite as high of a quality as other things, but
right.
Some of it's pretty cool though. There's a lot of books that they release that are Galaxy's Edge specific that I'm interested in, but there's like a design your own droid where you pick up it's like a white R2 or a white BB unit, and you can color it or whatever you're going to do to it. And
that would be cool. That would be cool. You know what I'm really interested in? I wish they would release it to the stores. Is those Coca-Cola bottles that look like the thermal detonators and whatnot? Do they sell them?
No, not at the stores. They sell them at Disney World. I got a couple up there.
That's what I wish they would just start releasing in stores. A little, limited time kind of a deal.
Right.
Because they can't do it forever, right? That's the draw. It's like Mickey ice cream bars. You only get them at Disney World or Disney.
Or the freezer section at stores in Florida.
Oh, really? They sell them outside even? Wow.
Apparently, we've been watching a lot of Disney YouTube videos lately.
Right.
I think we're getting the itch, even though none of us want to really go back.
Go anywhere.
The pandemic. But definitely the kids and me and my wife, we've been all watching these Disney videos, and I've been just getting all excited about it. And but yeah, it's They one of the things they mentioned was like, don't buy the Mickey ice cream things in Disney World because they cost $6. You can buy a box of them at Piggly Wiggly for $6.
Well, you know what? It was like 150,000 degrees there when we were there, and it was. I think I broke my 2-year diet at Disney World in Florida. It was so hot one day, and my kids are getting the ice cream, and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to get one of these because it's so hot and I need something to cool down. So we're leaning against this this wall where there's a little bit of shade, and I hadn't had junk food in 2 years. Not a bite of cookie, not nothing. And I got about 5 bites into that, and I started feeling dizzy, like spinning, like alcohol. And I said to my wife, I'm really, really dizzy. And she thought I was just crazy. So I actually had to sit down. And there was this giant rush that hit me. And I had so many Mickey bars that week that we were there.
It's like your crack. Oh no,
Oh, it
just
was
one
so good.
taste and of this Mickey bar. Now I'm hooked again.
And the best part about that is my youngest daughter, she didn't like the outer chocolate shell. So she'd get me to take it all off, and so I'd eat off the outer shell, and
And you'd
she
have
would
to do
get the.
something with it, right?
Oh, it was so good. So that's where I broke my 2-year diet of not eating any junk food. All I ate was red meat, green vegetables, and celery for 2 years, pretty much. So, anyways,
Yeah, that sounds like fun.
I'm not doing that in quarantine. I'm like, whatever I eat around the house. So, but anyways, I'm looking forward to someday being able to go back there. You know what I'm really interested in is one of the lightsabers, like the real lightsabers that they're selling there, or build your own, like a real one.
Right.
I've always wanted a Return of the Jedi Luke Skywalker lightsaber. But
Yeah.
that's
They're-
kind of what I'm spending my money on, or mugs, like what you were showing me.
You know, those lightsabers are pretty cool. I kind of like the fact that you can build something unique. I'm sure it's not unique. Somebody else has already got it. But I've seen what they did with the Avatar world. My daughter saw those wyverns or whatever they're called at the end. And she's like, I gotta have one of those. And they have this whole hatchery. Like, and
Oh,
they're
yeah.
all slightly different, you know. And they go through the whole adoption thing and
Right. Oh man. Yeah. It's good. You know what I did do, because I can't get down to Disney World. I actually bought the Sims 4, the Galaxy's Edge. They have an expansion pack or whatever it is.
right.
My oldest daughter is obsessed with Sims 4 now, and she got me into it. So she'll come up to me and we'll have a challenge. She'll say, "Here's the challenge. You know, here's this house. We'll both do the same house on our own computer and then compare or whatever else." So I bought the Star Wars pack, and it's so cool. They modeled it exactly off of Batuu and Disney World, so that's why I'm getting there. The weather's nicer there too, so
Yeah, it's not as hot. No
So-
Mickey bars you can eat though.
oh man. Hey, the funniest part of there, it was meeting Gaston.
Yeah.
It was so funny. So my daughters were like 10 and 8 at the time, and I could hear him carrying on with this lineup. I'm like, girls, you got to go meet him, because I thought he was so funny, the actor. So they get up there and they're getting their pictures, the girls, and then I get in there and I get a picture too. and what did he say to me? He goes, how did that feel to be the second most handsome guy in that picture, or something like this? And I made a joke and I said, I'm more like the fourth. It was only him and I. I'm like, I'm more like the fourth handsome guy in that picture. And I was walking away, and instantly he goes, that's right, you were fourth. And he goes, 1, 2, 3, 4, or something like that. I was just like, it's like he's heard it all. It's like they get these actors that are like half comedians. It was so funny.
Those guys from my Disney video binging, I've gleaned a lot about Star Wars Land and stuff. And apparently all the characters in there have their own backstory. All the cast members, as they call them.
Wow.
None of them will admit to being on Disney World. They're all in Star Wars. You know, they're all on Bantu, and they won't
That's
break it. They're like, don't even ask them how to get to Splash Mountain, because they won't tell you. Yeah,
That's funny. Wow. That's dedicated. Yeah, that's what I hear. The cast members, they're very, very, very dedicated. So
I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm sure, once one of us gets down there, we'll do a show from Disney World. Or at
oh
least
man, don't get me excited. That would be
fun.
Be so great. So some of the thoughts on, I mean, we're not getting a lot here, but some of the thoughts on kind of like the people we're going to see that we haven't seen yet, which are going to turn into spin-offs, right? Like Ahsoka, and who else,
Like, as in Ahsoka, I heard Rex might be in it. Like,
yes.
And did you hear that? I heard somebody that say that Tamora Morrison might be playing double duty in this season.
Well, he would have to, right? He would have to play like Boba Fett, right?
Yeah.
And then the other person that looks like Boba Fett would be Rex.
Yep.
So he's gonna,
and that would be super cool. I mean, if it's true. I mean, wouldn't an Ahsoka Rex show where they're, traveling the galaxy trying to stay away from the Empire, and
yeah, that would be cool. Because I mean, last we've seen Ahsoka and Sabine was in Star Wars Rebels, the last episode when they were kind of on the hunt for Ezra. So, and who knows, right? Maybe they found him at some point, maybe, kind of moved on. The big question is where has Ahsoka been this whole time? Like, she stayed out of all the original trilogy. You know what I mean? Like, she wasn't around for all that.
Yeah.
So someone had said, it's not really a plot hole. It's just that she's got a lot of explaining to do,
She's had stuff going on.
Right. I mean, she was disenchanted by the whole Jedi, right?
Right.
Disappointed, angered by all that, but she still kind of took herself out of the rebellion. But
and I liked what they were doing with her at the end of the new Clone Wars season that they just had. Where she was kind of exploring that whole aspect of her life, and that it's got a lot of stuff that could happen. It's going to be cool.
Yeah,
I have no doubt that it'll be neat. I'm hoping that they could pull something else off that's just as good as The Mandalorian.
Right. So do you think, now we kind of talked about this a little bit, and I guess we have a little bit of time, some of the rumors coming out, do you think we'll see the Mando by the end of the season or season 3? Or we will see a different Mando?
That's a good question. And I know we talked about this offline, but if there's some drama going on, I can't see where they're going to be too worried who's in the suit.
Right.
know?
And we're talking about the rumors of Pedro Pascal walking off set because he was tired of wearing the helmet.
Yeah. And they said, you got to wear the helmet.
Right.
But, I mean, and we also talked about how much was he actually in the suit? I know probably for the slower moving scenes, but we already know that like John Wayne's grandson played the Mando in the suit a couple times.
Right.
He's, been doing a good job in the suit. I think he conveys emotions and everything just with his postures and movements.
Right.
I mean, that's got to say something for his acting skills right there. That if you can convey that kind of, information without seeing your face,
right.
He's a good actor, but I think if they replace the Mandalorian, him with a different Mandalorian, I think that would put an end to the show. I don't know.
Right.
I don't think it wouldn't be the same show then.
Right. I mean, if the actor isn't happy with the role because of the 100% all the time wearing the helmet, then you know what I mean? It's just a matter of replacing the voice.
Yeah.
So, that can be done, right? So you have whoever, John Wayne's grandson, whatever other stunt person who's in the suit, you have the voiceover, you have the same Mando. Because I'm kind of with you where it won't be the show, right? Some people are like, well, if he leaves, they'll just drop Sabine in, or Bo-Katan because they're Mandalorians, but it's not the same. It's not the Mandalorian that we know. We've already seen these characters. We know their lives.
Right. Yeah. And the exciting part of this is a new character. He's, showing us a whole new side of Star Wars that we haven't seen before. And I just don't think it would be the same without that.
Right.
I mean, Marvel's Disney, I guess. Was it Disney then? Iron Man 2, the guy that played War Machine, they changed him out because he wanted more money, and they're like, no.
Yeah. Okay. See you later.
Yeah.
See you later.
And people blink maybe twice, and then they're like, oh, I like John Cheadle. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. And, I think that they did right there. I think that they survived. I think they did well with him. So,
yeah. So, I mean, they can survive. I think the leave an actor behind, as long as they keep the people that you can see, like Carl Weathers, if he stays on, that's, somebody that people can recognize. And the Cara Dune, Gina Carano, people recognize her, although who knows, she may, I don't know what they're planning with her, but she's pretty recognizable. I mean, you can tell who she is.
Right.
You can tell who the Mando is just by their, walking across a set. You don't even have to see them, just their shadow.
Mm-hmm.
So they're all very distinct individuals. I think that Pedro Pascal signed on to play a guy that wears a mask, and I'd be sad to see him go, but I can see where they're going to be like, that's not what you were paid to do.
I know. And as they say, this is the way.
Yep, this is the way.
I have spoken, all that kind of jazz.
So we'll see. I'm not convinced that there was any drama yet. I don't believe any. I don't get all jumpy with a lot of rumors until until it hits the fan. When it actually drops and it's real, then I'll get worried about it. But right now it's just a rumor. I'm not too concerned.
Yeah, I guess we've learned over the past 5 years, especially, about rumors in the Star Wars universe. But it's still fun. It's still fun. Sometimes it's still fun, right? To talk or what if it.
And we talked about that too. When I was a kid, we had magazines, Fantastic Films, and I can't remember what the other one was called, but they had these crazy rumors.
Yeah.
I mean, you go back and look at them now, and it's like, that was insane. What the heck were they even thinking? But then, back then I was going, yeah, that'd be really cool, So yeah, it's fun to talk about rumors, but I don't think we need to get too worried about them until they're real.
Yeah. The best thing that I like about rumors, we never usually report rumors or leaks or anything on Star Wars Reporter, but offline I like talking with like you or James or whatever about kind of, here's the rumor. It doesn't sound right, or if it's true, and then I just find that we come up with so many different scenarios of what could happen or where a story could go. It gets fairly creative, even if it doesn't pan out. I just think it's always fun, or I like sometimes pushing buttons without people knowing to kind of get an argument going.
You never push James's button.
No. I think I push his buttons even when I don't mean to. But it's fun. It's fun. So until it becomes not fun, and then I move on. But
yeah, I think it's fun. I mean, we'll throw things out there, and it's always good hearing other people's takes on it. I mean, with the last trilogy, I would come up with the whole things. Well, this is the way I would do it. Blah 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 blah. None of them ever even came close.
Right.
So yeah. So I know that anything anybody else is talking about is probably not even going to come anywhere close to what's really happening.
Yeah. I know. You just never know anymore. But with the Mandalorian, it's not that we're guessing what's it for for me. Again, I've said this before. It's such a throwback to the old trilogy and practical effects and just a basic story, and I love it so much. And just how Favreau and Filoni are world building, right? Like they're showing you the familiar, and we're seeing stuff in live, even if it's been in animated or in books. It's just kind of that really nostalgia feeling, but new at the same time, man. I'm loving
Right.
it.
You know, somebody said, why do they keep got to go into Tatooine? Because it's nostalgia. People just want to see nostalgia, you know. Nostalgia's fun.
Exactly. And it's, I don't know, there's so many good things in there. And I really hope we get to see the Sand People the same way that we did, right? With the sign language. And
Those Sand People were awesome. I love
that
those
was one
guys.
of my favorite scenes in the whole first season, was that interaction.
Yeah.
Oh, and the Jawas.
Yep. The Jawas. I mean, I love Jawas. As you can tell, I got my Jawa Tiki mug. I get Jawa things, Jawa that. You know, my first Star Wars character that I loved were the Jawas. You know, so yeah, seeing this new take on Jawas,
They were so good.
and you know, that what's funny is, you know, they having Jawas not on Tatooine, and even back in the day when I was freelancing with West End Games, we even talked about that. I think we came up with the character a Jawa that traveled the stars in a beat up spaceship and stuff. And I was like, Jawas wouldn't just stay on Tatooine; they go wherever the junk is.
Yeah, exactly. Wherever they could scavenge.
Yeah.
But they were so funny in that first season of The Mandalorian. When he was blasting them and they're running around like crazy, and even the fight on the barge,
Yeah,
or the sandcrawler. Yeah, it was really good. Every episode was so good in its own way. But the Jawas, you know what? The series brought Jawas into a whole new life for me. Before, they were kind of like side things that were like on Tatooine or whatever.
Yeah.
But it was like it kind of gave them real personality, even though they were, little buggers and stuff. It was still kind of funny.
I loved it. I love everything they're doing with this series. This is the Star Wars that I want to see. It's nostalgia, but like we said, nostalgia is good. And that's probably why we love this one so much, because we're very nostalgic people,
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm even getting nostalgia for the prequels now. I don't know why.
I know, man. I've been watching the prequels a lot in the past few months.
Yeah.
A lot more than I did when they came out.
Yeah, I mean, I know I did not watch them as much as I did the original trilogy, the middle trilogy.
Right.
But they got every Star Wars movie has something I really love in it. Every Star Wars movie has something I'm going, what? But, that's just the nature of the beast. You can't like everything, but you don't have to hate everything either. So
I know.
And I say that every episode. You don't have to like every Star Wars, but there's going to be something in every Star Wars movie that you look at and go, that is pretty freaking cool. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I could be wrong, and maybe it won't be, but Disney Plus might be a strong home for the future of Star Wars. I could be wrong on that. Maybe they're going to come up with epic movies that'll start getting really, really good again. But man, they could tell so much of a story through
Even
Disney
in a
Plus.
half-hour episode.
And you know what? I'm okay with that if future Star Wars is on my couch in front of the TV without people talking behind me.
And not to sidetrack you here, but if you haven't watched The Resistance yet, and that's on I think it's on Disney Plus. They only
Yeah.
have 2 seasons of it. It's amazing. I fell in love with that. It started off being real kiddie-like, but it's got a real deep story to it. It's enjoyable.
Right.
I like it. So
Yeah,
they're
I've watched
doing,
a couple of episodes, and I need to watch it all.
yeah. You would enjoy it. It picks up and it just keeps gaining steam as it goes on. So I think all TV shows have that arc, where the first episode you're going, what? Well, except the Mandalorian, the first one I was hooked there, but all shows, all series have that first season. We're like, what are they doing? And then it gets better. Agents of Shield wasn't great when it started either, but it's gotten better and better and better. So
yeah, I'm just waiting for the day when they start bringing other Star Wars products to Disney Plus once they get the rights back or whatever, like the Ewok movies, the Droids cartoon, the Ewok cartoon. Regardless,
you just want to see Princess Nisa again, don't you?
Hey, I'm all about the Ewoks, man. Ewoks, the Ewoks, right?
Murder bears.
Hey, they get the job done. If it wasn't for them, Han Solo would be dead on Endor. So,
and you saw that one meme where Luke is burning Vader's body, and all of a sudden he turns around and it's a bunch of Ewoks with dinner plates.
Yeah, I like that, and I'm okay with that. I'm sure Vader tasted really good. Right.
He's been already burnt anyway, so.
Oh yeah, a little bacon. Yeah. Anyways, on that, I think it's a good time for us to kind of call an end to this, because I don't want to make any more inappropriate jokes. But yeah, so maybe this is something we'll do in the future. We'll do some videos so people can be squeamish when they watch us talk. So
I'm squeamish when I watch us talk.
I know. I'm trying not to look at me. But thanks to everyone who is watching. And be sure to check us out at StarWarsReporter.com. Again, our social media, which is Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. That's pretty much where we do most of our posting. We'll have to do some live podcasts on the other social media as well. And if you like this, please share this with your friends and on your social media, and help us kind of build up and get the word out. So thanks a lot, guys. Thanks, Wayne.
Yeah, thanks. This is the way.
This is the way.